Hello everyone, and welcome to Arcane Focus D&D for Trials of VinTear, episode 55. I'm your GM, Mike, and joined with me are our amazing players. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
We've got Amber.
Hey.
Crash.
Hello.
Nick.
Hi there.
And Titan.
Howdy.
As a reminder, everyone, this is a pre-recorded episode, so if you're watching us on Twitch, we're not actually live, though I am generally in chat. You can check us out on YouTube for all of our VODs, not only this particular series, but also the many little mini-series we've done, as well as the little test run we did of Amalgamation, the Hotel Report, which I believe by this time, it's either getting close to, and the trailer has been out, or I just spoiled everything. Hey, keep an eye out. It'll be fun. But yes, you can also check us out tomorrow for Short Rest, which is a nice little 10-minute kind of breakdowns. We do a little podcasty type of thing. We talk about this very session. So if you don't have 2 hours or an hour, whatever long this session goes for, don't worry. We got you covered. Now, guys, for over a year, I've been doing these ad skits, a few bangers, mostly flops. And through each one, I've talked about some amazing either dice makers or some amazing TTRPG services, professional GM service shoutouts, and lately a healthy boost to our own company, Arcane Circle, a TTRPG platform aimed to help GMs and players find each other and to give them the tools to run and manage their games, as well as to learn new systems and how to run games safely with our academy. Now, AC has been growing quickly, which is why I'm going to leave it all to you guys. One by one, I would like you to tell me what is your favorite feature or something about the site that you like about Arcane Circle. We're not going to start with you, Amber. Nope. We're going to start with Titan.
Me?
Yes. Boost my ego.
Okay, boosting your ego.
Do we need
I'm not going to confess something about this instance, but I will say it has got such a cool, sleek look to it.
Oh.
I haven't maybe fully looked into it or tested it, but on like the surface level, it looks really clean, which matters to me because if there's a bunch of clutter in my face, I start getting stressed out as the DM because I already have too much clutter. So
I love it. No one here is required to test out all the features. Let's go to Crash.
I actually spent quite a lot of time at the National Clay Conference talking about Arcane Circle. There were quite a few people who were looking for like games that they could jump in to different levels that had good DMs. And so I did mention them quite often to go check you guys out and to get their games that way.
I love it. Thank you so much. Nick.
I would have to say my favorite feature is that it's run by my very good friends Mike and Amber.
Oh, I love that. That's heartwarming.
Nick wins.
Nick wins. Amber.
Training module. That's like one of the most asked for things, especially for female players. They want to make sure that their tables know what the hell they're doing. So
Safely.
I like our training module and safety tools.
As a quick heads up to everyone who ever wants to do any kind of plugin or kind of like statement, like a pause statement about there, don't do what I did. That was gross, and I'm really happy I did it. Boosted my ego.
Nick still won.
No, they're all right. Everyone was right. So yes, if you watching right now, you can go to arcanecircle.games right now and create an account. Hey, it's free, and you can take place in all these different games that are run by professional GMs, and you can teach yourself how to run games safely with our safety training course. Yeah, go check it out. I think it's time for maybe a quick recap.
Yes, please.
Within the dust-filled antique center of the Grip, Tavant, our fiendish proprietor, learns more about Mask, ending up enjoying their company and settling on that while though she knows, or that the fact that she does know the reckoning and whomever they trust, she is more lenient to trust on her end. From our Bengal Tiger Devil, we learn that of the going-ons within the capital of the Dracewind Kingdom here in Outslaw. Apparently, Outslaw had its first ever protest towards the crown and their handling of the forward guard. There was a shift, a clear shift, only for King Dracewind himself standing amongst the people side by side by forward guard member Chapel, confirming that he understood the concerns of the citizens of Outslaw, and in the coming weeks that a new plan to oversee the forward guard will be presented. So with such kind and carefully chosen words, the people here have kind of calmed. There's not like riots in the streets. It's kind of, they were hoping for something along this line to be said, and it was said. But everything right now is there's some uncertainty amongst some members of the kingdom. So everything currently is on a tightrope. Kind of unsure where we fall and where the city may think. We visited the Bordeaux, where Christoph confirms that the party, that the anti-guard, soon to be renamed the Ostracon, are made up of concerned citizens and business owners. Nobody of full interest, but like no one of full interest for our party here. Like, I need to know this person. Nobody really that important, but we are gaining members. Let's see here. But it's good to see that there is concern as well as a growing organization of groups. We also learned that reports from forward guard scouts that they were heading out to Hogdale to visit the Order of the Second Life to either do recruitment or a possible Waikia sighting. So for the next 3 weeks, that Barnabas St. Clair will come down for a public announcement on behalf of the king for the Oversight Committee, or some sort of enactment about oversight. Also in that period, Tavant should have some new equipment for you all. So we ended the last session with everyone heading into downtime, or about to. But not without Arrow having discussion with several dead fish and seagulls, telling him that the best way to become a captain is to be the soul shepherd, specifically for undead beings. The sun currently is turning to a warm yellow. It's warm yellow and begins to melt into the sky into orange, pinks, and dark blues. Legati, sleeping in his room, as well as Phoenix doing the same. Mask, currently, from my understanding, you were finishing up in the bar. So ready for rest, all of you. Arrow, you are heading back to the Bordeaux with a swordfish. Like I said, this doesn't have to be a long moment, but I was so curious in terms of you purchasing kind of second-handedly. You were having like 2 conversations at once, and you ended up buying a full swordfish, which I will remind you, swordfishes are very large. You're currently you're holding one from across hands. You are also a very strong individual, so no problem with you sort of lifting this. You are not unfamiliar with the weight. Where do you bring it to where do you take this thing?
I think he does bring it back. Because he's just kind of like absently wandering, and then he's like, oh, I should probably get back. And then already when he's like halfway there, he's like, right, I'm still carrying this. What do I do with it? So while Mask is finishing up their dinner, I'm just going to walk in holding this big ass swordfish.
So you go into like the tavern side of the Bordeaux, where they do have like cooks and chefs. Okay, yeah. Walk in, the bartender recognizes you, nods, gives like, there's a like that cross of emotion of like, hey, how's it go? And a double take, and unsure how to present the question as you see Mask at the bar, having sort of the last bit of shots.
Mask probably gags and chokes on whatever they're finishing off. Found a souvenir?
Expensive souvenir, but Not really sure what to do with it, to be honest.
Thought. Cut it off right here at like the head. And then go back to the chef and see if he wants the rest of it.
Fine idea. Yeah, I'll do that.
And
Thanks.
then we'll take the head and we'll and save the spine too. Have them fillet it, and we will create a sword.
Sorry, run that one by me again? I don't think I heard you right.
The spine and the nose. Sword. Sword for you. Yeah. Pretty snazzy. Just
For me.
saying, fits your...
You want me to flail around fishbone?
We're gonna cast it in iron.
You could have said that.
I've had a lot to drink.
Touche. Alright, you know what? I could use a lot to drink, so I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm going to join you. And maybe make a fishbone sword.
Yes.
2
more!
I'll head back and do exactly that. Ask the chef to pull out the spine of the fish along with the head.
Yeah,
And then give him the rest of the meat.
it's such a strange conversation of like peeking your head through a kitchen door and be like, you don't know me, but I have a swordfish. Do you want it? And I think there very much is a back and forth. I think you do end up dropping Christoph's name. And the chefs in the back, like what I've used to work at in a restaurant. Hair in a net. Sort of a human with sort of a beard that also has a net across the, like, for hanging on the ears. Lexington goes, you want the meat from... I could, if you're donating, I can take it. That's not a problem. You want the bones though, no?
Just the bones and the
Great.
head.
I don't have to make room in trash can for it. That works perfectly. And goes, well, are you fine with us taking some of the meat to serve to customers? Is this a donation?
Yeah, take it. I have legitimately no use for it. I kind of bought it by accident.
Don't do that in the future.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
You never catch
Chatty trash
me.
cans.
Never catch me buying swordfish on exit, and starts to fillet everything. Takes a few minutes for them to fully clean out, and there's still pieces of meat that you would have to like spend some time and really kind of craft and sort of clean out. But yeah, I think you are given like a grocery bag that's made out of like fabric that has a bunch of like bones. The actual spine is kind of curled a little bit, and the only thing that's poking out is the actual like snout, so it's sticking out of the bag itself. So you have it all intact if need be. But yes, heading back upstairs, opening the door, the bag of bones. I actually love that for Arrow now that I said it out loud. You guys start to sleep. And so I would like, as you start to have a long rest, and everyone can mark that you're getting a long rest right now. I'm going to give, while you do that, I'm going to give our players and our viewers a bit of a bullet point recap of what the Reckoning has been up to, and what lies ahead. And this is probably the first time in a while that you've had an extended amount of time to yourselves. So this is the bullet point. You survived an attack at sea. You've been arrested, solved a murder, went to Spooky Island, made it to the capital where you dealt with the Forward Guard, Potter's Guild, and any wild task that Tavant sent you on. Snuck onto a dragon's mansion, traveled into a restricted forest and a temple within it, met up with Mask, also saved people from a festival, dealt with the Forward Guard stuff again, traveled into a mountain and through an ice plane. It's been a stressful few weeks. And it would also be very unrealistic for our heroes to trudge at this pace without some kind of downtime. And so the way that we're going to run downtime is as follows. Our players are going to take 3 weeks of downtime. During that period, the story any villainous plans in the background, they are all going to take a pause. They are not going to progress. The number of weeks equals the number of downtime actions you guys individually have. So I'm going to lay it out right now. I'm giving you guys 3 weeks free. You technically can take more. If you wish to take an additional week, you can take an additional downtime action. If you were like, oh, I almost made it, I want to finish it, you can do that. But this means that while you guys take an additional week, that means villainous plans move forward a week. Now, during downtime, you can improve your character, investigate, plan, and prepare, etc. All these will require a roll to fill a clock. Very much thank you so much for Blades for the inspiration. Each of you are given 3 downtime moments. Some of these moments will be quick, and some of these moments are free. Sometimes going shopping, that doesn't count as a downtime moment. Doing the little small role play scenes doesn't count as a downtime moment. You have a week. You are free to bring in your friends into your downtime moment, and it will not count against their moments as well. Time is also free-flowing, so do not worry about continuity. We can always hand wave, oh, this was done at this time, oh, this was done at this time, or I don't know when this happened, but, XYZ. Don't worry about that. And lastly, not everything counts as a downtime moment. Oh, we just went over that. But yes. So right now, as you guys start to wake within the Bordeaux, breakfast is had, meals are given, and the sun starts to rise, and you find yourself back into the capital of the Dracewind Kingdom, condensed and tight within the stone steps, sort of the district you find yourself here. Last thing I should mention in terms of downtime is that you are free to essentially fast travel. I'm not counting travel as cutting into your downtime, to any place that you've been to before on this adventure. Now, backstory stuff, fortunately, doesn't count. It is the time that you spent in this adventure. So with all of that said, Legati, as the new week rises for you, I'm going to, because we have gone, you guys have submitted some things that you've had planned. I ask you right now, what would you like to do as a free action, as a free downtime moment? And you have small little things that don't really count. What would you like to do for that?
Yeah, not the most exciting or compelling, but we talked about first time hanging out in a proper city for an extended period of time in a while. And we have a bunch of money. Did we split up that gold that was in the bag of holding, or is that still pending that we just have a mountain of gold somewhere?
I think we
Arrows
just
would
have a
it.
mountain of gold in the bag of holding,
Okay.
which Arrow will dispense as anyone wants. If
I
you
have
want 1,000 at a time-
2,000 written down on my sheet. I don't know if that's from last time, if we did split that up. Does anybody else have that much?
I have
No, I think you said you wanted to use that.
Okay,
much
so
in
that's my portion of the big pile. That's what it was. Yeah, I think it was 8,000 or something, and I took some.
Yeah.
So DM, I need to know how much the scrolls of Hold Person, Featherfall, and Shield cost. So those are 2 first level and 1 second level spell. Do that shopping.
Okay, so we got Hold Person, Featherfall.
Yeah.
And then Shield. Got it.
And Shield. Pretty common spells as far as those things go.
I think they are pretty common. I think Hold Person might be, I would definitely subjugate this to a roll for this little free moment. And the result will tell me how many of these, where you're able to locate these and such. So I will say go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Alrighty. Do that. That will be a 15.
15.
Yeah.
I think you do find all 3. The first 2, both Shield and Featherfall, are very easy to locate, mainly because you just head back to Tavant. The Grip does have those 2 spells at the ready within sort of the black market section of her shop. Featherfall, both Featherfall and Shield cost 100 gold pieces each.
Got it. All right, I will purchase those 2.
And then for you to scribe that over to your spellbook, that also costs gold. And
yeah, I spent that money already, and I made those rolls in between, so I didn't fail any this time. I literally have to roll like a 1 to fail to inscribe a first level spell. So fortunately, I did not do that this time. Yeah, so I got those. And then what about Hold Person?
Hold Person, you do locate it, and you locate it at the academy. A very familiar space to you, Legati, as it is the place that your mother worked at. Question for you in terms of Legati's background. Legati's parents are still alive and still live here in Outslaw. Does your mother still work at the academy? And I have to remind myself of the name of the academy, but does she still work here?
Legati doesn't seem like the kind of person that would formally retire from something. If he liked doing it, he would just keep doing it until he couldn't do it. So I'm going to imagine his mom would be the same and would just work there. You know, it's not like you get too old to be a teacher at a wizard academy or whatever. So I think she would still work there if they would have her.
The Kari Academy, that's right. So it's the Kari Academy. It is a school that teaches both standard academic and the arcane. So it is not a specialized school. It is a generalized school that teaches sort of a little bit of everything. I don't think we talked about it, but what does your mother teach?
It would make sense to be some kind of history, right? Like that's where Legati got his interest in it, in archaeology, getting told stories of ancient civilizations and other continents and things like that.
Perfect. With that being known, is that your mother is on the grounds and could be walking around. Does Legati want to run into? Does he want to avoid running into his family?
I think with downtime, and if we're being flexible with time, I think Legati would have been more comfortable like, hey, Mom, Dad, I haven't written in a while. Here's what I've been up to. Like he writes like one of those a season or something like that and just sees that it gets to them. They're not especially close or warm or fuzzy, or at least Legati isn't. But, you know, they didn't do anything wrong. So he does like to let them know. I don't think he's been explicit about the politics stuff. Probably don't want to cause trouble for them. And that way, that's also why like he uses fake names. He doesn't use his family name or anything most of the time. But yeah, I think the only thing I could imagine him doing, because he does like academics, is if his mom had a class and wanted him to give a guest lecture about something he's done recently.
Oh.
He would go and just recap everything and not really, if there was anything he shouldn't have said, he probably would just say it anyway. Like about going into places you're not supposed to go to, or if there was any secret stuff about the island, Spooky Island, he probably wouldn't hold back on that. Maybe not mentioning the censored god, but aside from that, getting kids excited about history, you know, he would get really into that.
Yeah, I'll say just as a chance, I will ask me just as a luck roll. Roll me a d20.
All right. That is a 19, flat 19.
19. I think you do see your mother. She is currently in class. She's teaching about kind of the ancient temples as well as the numerous ruins that are found in the forests of the north. How there are, there was a dragon that used to call this space home. And so there are definitely like corrupted spaces, and would talk about sort of the history and sort of the aspect of that and how that affects the land around. How well it is also important to understand. There's sort of more interesting, like deeper sort of discussion and collaboration and discussion that happens around Dragon Kin and them just as a whole. And so you are able to sort of stand at a door with sort of one of those windows that you can peer into, and you can stand there for a little bit and just sort of watch her work without her kind of like turning to you and noticing you. I think you have the option to be like, I see my family's doing good, and I can go right back to work and not have to worry about it.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah. Legati's a dude in his 40s. He doesn't need to, he doesn't need to be that close to his mom and dad.
You do find there is a copy of Hold Person at the school. So more of the Arcana section of the school where there are like spell slingers. You're running into kids. You're like children.
Yeah.
Like they're teens, young adults who are
around.
They're throwing like fire bolts that are only going a foot far and then they fizzle out and they're not really there yet. I think you have to drop your name at the library here, sort of like they don't know you. It's not like you've been a well-known student. You would just sort of show up randomly. Yeah, there is a cost to essentially use their services. And I'm going to say that the cost for their services equates to the amount of cost it would take to buy a scroll. And so just for this particular spell itself, so you could essentially buy a scroll. You could like, you're photocopying it. We're in college and you're getting a textbook and you're buying all the ink and everything else. So that Hold Person is 270 gold pieces.
All right, let's do it. 270. Mark that down. Legati doesn't have a lot to spend his money on other than this stuff specifically. And I already assuming I would get that, I inscribed that as well. So that is also in the spell book now.
Incredible.
Yeah. Real quick, just the other like free action stuff. I mentioned I want a bunch of like cheap but strong leather, like raw leather material.
Yeah. We're gonna handle it this way that you're gonna have a free action every week.
Okay,
so
cool.
You've already labeled 3 free actions, so we cut 1 right now.
Yeah.
Going into one of your proper downtime actions, I've written down you, Legati, in one particular morning, find yourself in the northwest walls of Outslaw within the Faith District. There are several churches and dedicated spaces to both study and faith where you can potentially learn more about the nuances of divinity, aka gaining proficiency in religion. Now, just for those at home, there is once again sort of a dive into Blaze in the Dark on how we are rolling and ruling you guys, improving your characters, is if there is a skill specifically, and we can talk about other stuff as we go along, but for now we'll talk about skills. If there's a skill that you wish to become proficient in, depending on that skill's, stat that it's tied to, religion being intelligence, you would roll that number d6s for the modifier of your intelligence score. The way that we're going to roll it, much like a little bit of revamped of Blades in the Dark, is that you're going to roll all these 6s. If the highest result of one of those faces is a 1 to 3, you will fill up your clock by 2 steps. If it's 4 or 5, it'll go up by 3 steps. If you roll a 6, it goes up by 5 steps. And if you roll 2 6s, you fill that clock up immediately. It's a 6-step clock. The moment you fill up that clock, you become proficient in that skill. I will also mention what I've written in here is that as an addition to that, Legati, once you are able to fill up this clock and be proficient in religion, you can also learn more details about one of these 2 aspects. You can learn about being usurped, how a god can be usurped, or the idea of gods being usurped, or the idea of a god or a being tethered to a god. I think those are 2 possibilities that you can learn by filling up this clock.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why I want to be proficient in religion, is because I got some stuff to learn about gods if I'm gonna become one or help to usurp one or whatever else Teller would like me to do. So
perfect. So what is your intelligence modifier?
It is 5.
So you're gonna roll 5 d6s, and the highest on that roll is going to be your result, or you get 2 6s.
Yes. let's hope this goes well. Legati is a studier. He is an academic guy. My highest is 1-6.
1-6. So you fill up the clock
Yep.
by 5 steps, meaning that you have not filled the clock up just fully. You are one.
Mhm.
I think it's fairly safe to say that you're just going to be able to fill that up next downtime.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Yep.
put you on pause as we go to the rest of our players as you start to study. I will ask you now, though, because this will put you in a scene. Do you want to be studying? Do you want to study the usurp aspect of these sort of questions, or do you want to study the tethered aspect?
I would start with the usurping, because if we can't usurp, the tethering is less important. So yeah, usurping first.
Perfect. I will give more of a detail when it comes back around to you, but you find yourself in you weren't counting yourself to being in this church, but there is a reason for it. It turns out that the best church to learn about usurping and divinity is the Church of Waikia, the goddess of commerce, aka the Coin Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that.
Joaquin?
Joaquin, yeah.
Okay, I thought you said Wakia, and I was like, she's a god now?
I thought so
Joaquin.
too, and I was like, oh shit.
Apologies, no, the Coin Maiden. So that is currently happening right now. We're now going to shift over to Arrow. Arrow, what is your free action? Something that doesn't really cost a full downtime.
It's a good question on which one I do first. I'll buy health potions for everyone, and 2 for Mask specifically, because we're still waiting on that armor or whatever from Tavant, so I want to make sure Mask is set up to not die.
Okay, so that is 5. We're thinking of 5 health potions we're trying to
Yes.
aim for.
Yes.
Okay, I will say roll me a... I would suppose this be perception, so roll me a perception check.
7.
7. Okay. I think you do walk around sort of Outlook. And I'll say within the week's time, there is more than likely due to the role, there is a bit of a healing potions shortage. There is a particular material that goes into healing potions when it comes to the crafting, the alchemic kind of design and sort of steps of it. There's a particular material that is missing, or at least in low supply, and you're only able to find 2 healing potions for this particular free time. So you're able to, that's 100 gold pieces, and you can purchase that and you can get 2 healing potions.
I will do that then, and distribute. I think he'll split it between Legati and Mask. Legati gets 1, Mask gets 1.
Go ahead and mark that in. Arrow. We see a moment in your life during this week as you have sort of time to reflect and relax back at home. A bit of a flashback back to Tidewell Square, a sandy home neighboring the gazing pool and the southern waters of VinTear. South of the town is almost bustling with ships of all shapes and sizes, bringing in goods and crews heading out for an adventure or adventures on the ocean blue. And to the west, the glimmering magical waters of the pool here, ripe with chaos and danger, enough where occasionally you will see academics at home when you were very, very young, who would come by to try to study the gazing pool waters, but generally never stayed too long due to the crowd that Tidewell brings. No one wants to be abducted by an angry pirate. Pirates, tricksters, trickster Feykin, and the odd wanderer from the Shadowfell. The sands of Glassleech Desert and the aura of the gazing pool waters attracts many, many outsiders. But it's funny, because even with all these visitors, the bombastic privateers and those living amongst them generally can hold control of the town. This is where you've lived. It's where you sort of This is your formative years. We see a night show, as it is a cool night here in Tidewell amongst the sand. The lapping of water from the southern shore and the soft, like very, very soft illumination from the gazing pool water to the west. There is always a night where there's never really a night where someone isn't harmed in Tidewell. There's usually some sort of fight going on. But for you and your brother, this is your backyard. Walking alongside you, Alto holds you and him are heading out to a general shop. Your hand is in your pocket, fidgeting with a modeled ship that you've been messing with. And at this age, you haven't seen that ship yet.
Okay.
But you still have interest in massive vessels, and they've still caught your attention. You've always had that growing up. Arrow, can I see it?
See what?
Can I see the boat?
No.
What? I want to see the boat. I know you have it. I saw you crafting it.
Fuck off, I'm not done yet.
I'm going to tell Mom.
Go ahead.
You're not sharing.
Why should I share? I made it!
I just want to see it. Why are you so mean?
I'm not being mean. I just told you. I'll show you when I'm done.
You see you guys are walking sort of up sort of the main thoroughfare, and he stops. Stamps his foot, and you start to see sort of the tears start to form. Roll me insight check. I'll say just roll a d20 and give me the result, because you are not at a level at this stage.
6.
You are unsure, and I'll give you this amount of verbiage just for the sake, because it is low DCs, very, very low DCs, because you're not even a level. You're not entirely sure if this is fake crying, or these are crocodile tears. If he stomps his foot, you could see sort of the glimmer of the moonlight shining onto the tears now streaking down. But he is sort of huffing in a way where you're like, are you sad? Are you being a little shit? And you're not entirely sure.
Oh, knock it off. You look stupid.
You hear from a shadowed sort of alleyway. Aww. Don't cry, little one. You want to see a real ship? And you see 4 gruff-looking stragglers. One leans back, whispers to another one. You see that they all have sort of like scars across the face, sun-bleached and sun-tanned faces and clothing. Sort of like they haven't got a lot of moisture, so there's like a lot of lines and pulled-out faces. There's like peeling coming from the lips, like they've been out for too long. You see one of them is currently tapping all 4 fingers, like in rhythmic patterns, across the hilt of a blade. And goes, "Don't cry. We have a real ship if you want to see, little one."
I'm gonna quickly step in to be standing between Alto and these guys. No thanks.
Oh, his big brother's very protective, but you want to see ship, no? And you see that 2 of them, so 2 have sort of stepped forward, and out of the 4, the other 2, one leans over to the other one, and you see they start to whisper to one another, kind of motioning to you. Their lips are moving, and even some words are heard, but none of it makes sense. They are speaking in code. What do you do as they kind of kneel down towards your brother? Or towards you, I should say, because you're interposed.
I'll, stick my arm out, straight arm them, to try to, if I have to, push them away from me and him, and I'll keep my arm back to keep Alto behind me.
Okay. I'll say roll me another d20. This is a strength roll.
Natural 20.
I
Feels good.
think it's a two-parter because there's 4 of them. Is this guy gets on one knee as he like puts a hole, like he grips his blade tightly, like this is not going to end well. As he is on one knee, he is top heavy a little bit, and you could shove him to the side. There is sand everywhere. You get a big grip of sand, and you throw it at the rest of the three. Sand goes in their eyes. Oh, shit! And you can grab Alto and run.
Yep. Out.
You start to make a mad dash. I don't even think fear. I think there's a mixture of fear and recognition at this age. This is where you lived. You know how to defend yourself, and you've gotten very good at it, as well as defending your family. This is your fucking home. Don't come into here and try to. It's like if like someone went to New York and they're like, I'm more New York, and you're like, shut the fuck up. The memory and the vision fades as you sit up in the room, and you haven't had this memory in a while, sort of this daydream hitting you. You recognize some of the dialect that was being spoken to at that time. And it is words of secrets. Thieves can't. Might be good to learn it. Where do you go to learn this?
I'll actually start with Mask, because I think that's the most recently I've heard Thieves Can't, was either from Mask or like when they were writing in their journal. So while I'm like delivering the health potion, I imagine I kind of had that memory flash through, like walking through town, maybe going to buy something and then having that parallel. So I'll go find Mask to hand them their health potion.
Thank you.
And while I'm there, I'll ask, you speak in code, right?
Sometimes, yeah, handy stuff.
Could you teach me?
Sure. Is there, like, something specific, like you want to leave a message for somebody, or is it more like just knowing how to use it when you need it?
More like, I want to know what people are saying around me. It's been a while.
Well, okay, then, and they get out a very, very old notebook, and it looks like it's traveled a long way, and it's like well loved with dog ears and stuff, and they kind of open it up, and you see them use a lot of notebooks at this point, and this one has like that very like early kind of vibe to it where they're learning, and you can kind of see words, and it's a much more like, it's not like a structured like a language in the same way. And so Mask will sit down and be like, okay.
Oh, we're doing this now.
You're at a coffee shop and you're like, I wasn't prepared. For languages, I'm going to leave this I'll leave this to an option for you, Arrow. You can either make this an intelligence based skill or a charismatic based skill.
Ooh, intel.
Okay.
Intelligence.
What is your intelligence modifier?
+2.
+2. So you're going to roll 2d6, and you're going to take the highest of those die faces.
Got it. Ooh, one of them was a 6, the other was a 1, so we'll take it.
All right, perfect. You fill up your clock 5 steps, nearly filled. Once again, fairly confident you're going to be able to fill it next time. So you spend a whole week with Arrow. You fill with Mask. Arrow, you two spend a long time with each other here and there, enough so where the continuity makes sense. I think what happens, Mask, is that Arrow's picking this up very quickly. I think what they get stuck on is the writing aspect of Thieves Can't, because it's not just a spoken language, it's also a written language. They've gotten the basics, they've gotten kind of more advanced, how to message themselves in a verbal conversation. But as you start to teach sort of the more the written aspect, they've caught some of it, but he's Needs a little bit more time. Another week.
It's like drawing.
It really isn't, though.
Following arrow from that, mask. Oh, sorry. We'll do. Yeah, actually, we'll do mask. Let's do mask. Mask. What is your free action or your little free downtime moment you like to do right now?
I feel like shopping is the general theme, and Mask did have quite the shopping list. And we're now gonna throw that sword into the shopping list for Arrow, and switch from the original book holster idea. And so Mask wants to get presents for everybody, just to thank them for bringing them back over and over again from the verge of death. So, and they haven't been able to like be in the big city and shop for a while. So, they're going to get the swordfish to a forge to have it cast into a sword, and then they'll kind of set it up, and so that the bones are actually like a handle that has like a rib bone for the hand guard that kind of goes down with a piece of spine and has like a piece of rib at the base for the buckle, and then have the like sword as sort of a the nose is the sword sort of situation. Then for Legati, they want to get a fancy like pocket watch. I don't know how much they've like actually gathered that Legati can tell what time it is, irregardless of where it is. But for them, like the pocket watch is like a constant change concept and has like this very kind of Legati vibe for them. And then for Phoenix, they want to get like monk hand wraps that go from like black at the elbows through like an ombre to like flame red at the tips. And then health potions if I can find them.
Yeah, I think just for the health potion, go and roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Well, the new dice don't like me very much at all.
No. It was a claim.
5. Yeah,
5.
they're so pretty.
I'm gonna
too.
say with a 5, unfortunately, for just the health potions, you're unable to find. I think you run into the same problem, like during the the training
Shortage.
that Era's going through. You're like, I can't find any health. Like you both come to the same conclusion. You're like, they're nowhere. We gotta wait a week. I'll say for the incidental stuff though, like pocket watch does cost around 5 gold pieces. A non-magical pocket watch, something very simple to make. I will say that I will use the base of a short sword for this, for the swordfish kind of sort of base. Since it is heavily customized, you have to go to a forge and everything. I'm going to double the cost. I'm going to say it costs 20 gold pieces to make this swordfish sword. That's hard to say. That was difficult. I didn't like.
Swordfish, short sword.
I hate it.
Swordfish, short sword.
I hate it.
The girls got it.
The swordfish short sword is 20 gold
Slower.
pieces.
You can't say it fast. Can't say it fast. Pace yourself.
So
This is not
I will say
exact,
then
but, you know.
you are also buying. I'll say that we'll use the attire cost for Phoenix's thing. Since it's not a lot, I'm gonna say this is just fine attire and just use that as the base. I'm gonna say that costs 15 gold pieces. Something that is also tempered and used for like actual punching and training and monk usage, so it doesn't get too scuffed. Well, it's also I don't know, man. I'm literally just using it as the base, so that's how much it costs.
No, that is totally fine. Phoenix never spends that much money on herself. Unless it's food.
And while I'm shopping in true mask fashion, I'm kind of seeing who's at these stores, how talkative the sales people are, and trying to find a little bit more of the information system of the city to see, are there any places that seem like out of place people are dropping by and saying things and then going and back. Maybe take a closer look at the crazy Bengal tiger lady stuff if she'll let me. And make those connections.
I think you go back to the grip with Tavant, and I'll say, just to end this free downtime moment, is that you are directed to the hot spot, which is a warehouse located in the steps. It is mainly a concrete kind of floored bar and tavern that doesn't have so many chairs. It has a lot of booths where everyone can hear everyone's conversation, and it's meant to be that way. And there is Askar, who is the tiefling, sort of this deep red tiefling bartender who works there, who is bound, unbeknownst to a lot of people, but you guys would know, is bound to this to Tavit to work here constantly.
We like that guy.
He likes you too. There is a lot of rumors do flow through the hot spot. However, for your full downtime moment, I've written down here, you start going through some old documents and dossiers and notebooks and written notes that you've written for yourself when you did leave Mosted. You start to thumb through the documentation that you have on Danny Grace. And I will ask you as the player, Crash, have you had a chance to recheck the document that PowerPoint we made together?
Yeah, I went back and looked at it.
So I won't say it out loud, but you have some information about Danny Grace. You've never seen them before, but with Tavin's directions, you are able to head back into Everloom. You head back into Everloom, and after, obviously, the city has recovered from the catastrophe that was a lunar festival. The town is now unique with trade, as it's one of the only sanctioned spaces where travel and visitation can occur between the kingdom and Unity in a quick succession. It is not too long as you start to do some discussion detective work, asking around for Danny Grace, where you do know where he works. You know exactly where he works. And there's a few ways to handle this. I'm going to leave it in your hands. You know where he works. And you get kind of a rough idea where he lives. You know he's the night manager at the Cauldron Ferry. It is a heavily secured and vetted ship that travels across to the Unity, specifically to the town of Cormac. The way you travel this way is that it takes appointments and registration and questioning amongst the travel from guards from both sections. It costs a lot. It's actually 200 gold pieces per person to travel through, just on the fees alone. It's why a lot of people take the Lifted Hills as a sort of secret route, but it's very dangerous. People have died on the Lifted Hills. So you have dirt on Danny. And you know that some of your crew here have shown interest in getting to the Unity. Now, you can go through the Lifted Hills, or you can put a little bit of a squeeze on Danny.
We're gonna squeeze Danny.
What do you want to do? How do you want to approach him? Do you want to approach him at work, at the docks, or do you want to find him where he lives, or maybe when he's elsewhere?
I feel like finding him in a little more neutral territory. I don't want to it is intimidating to show up at your house and be like, so, but I don't want to start there. We might get there. So I want to hit his normal drinking spot. And kind of meet him there.
There is a bar called the Dockside Crab that is sort of a little tingy bar here that the reason why people would go here is not for the aesthetics. It's all for the cheap alcohol. It's like a lot of incidental money where it doesn't even cost a gold. It's just like, a few copper, maybe a silver, depending on what you want to get. Oh, you want a clean glass? Yeah, it's a silver. It's very much like that. And there's a lot of tired dock workers and sailors, and it's not like the type of crew that Arrow hangs out, because it's not exactly connected to the ocean. It's not an ocean side. It's literally a lake. So you just get a bunch of people who are tired of the government who work here. They're tired of both aspects of like, I got to go to Unity and it's a lot of paperwork. And I got to travel back here to the kingdom. It's a lot of paperwork. And you're seeing people from both sides sort of staying here at the dockside crab. You see that there are people who are dressed in sort of heavy robed, sort of cloaked, what you would see from like the Sahara Desert. So like wrappings to keep the sun out. And they just sort of wear it just as, part of the culture. As people are talking with themselves, you definitely see that there's a bit of a split with some light mixes of the powers here. As you step in, no one looks in your direction. No one cares. No one, people are here either tired or just drinking. You hear off to the side, yeah. Oh no, it was the worst. Then I had to go across, and then a second guard decided to throw a person off the ship and waited for them to go back onto shore and then arrested them. It's horrible. I'm telling you, I need about another year and then I'm done here. Just another year.
I'm in my normal look. I have it edited just slightly to be a little more masculine. But it is kind of my more dapper suit and tie kind of look. And I'm going to get something that's hard enough alcohol that it cleans the glass when it goes into it. And I'm going to get a water. And I'm going to go over to him. And I'm going to set down the water. And I'm going to take the shot. And I'm going to say, I'd clean up before you talk to your wife.
Danny Grace is a Dracewen. He's a Dracewen citizen. Human, tan skin, about 5'7". He is slightly overweight. He's got a bit of a fun belly. But you see him that he's got like a bit of suntan happening. He does have a ring on his finger. He is married. As you sit down the water, he takes a shot, sees you sit down, sort of takes a quick... He's about to say hello, but then as you sort of do your introduction, he goes, "What'd you say, friend? You talking about my wife?"
Oh, I just think there's some information.
Are you looking to get buried? Is that what's happening here?
No. We have mutual friends. I have information. Nothing to get excited about. Let's move into a corner booth. Tell your friends goodnight for the day, and we can talk about some things.
Roll me, I think this is intimidation.
That one.
I was like, stop rolling those clay ones.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Put them to the side.
He stands up, sort of finishes a bit of the drink, sort of had a half shot with the rest, and goes, "I had a long day, friend. And you come into my place of drinking, talk about my family like we're some sort of buddies and we have to go somewhere secure? No, you can get the fuck out."
Wonderful. When I do, I'm going to go across the ocean. I have some cash. And I'll chat to somebody else I think also wears a ring. So bye. See ya. And I start headed for the door.
Rolling perception check.
God, I'm horrible at that. Oh, that's actually not bad. 19 plus 2, 21.
You step out. You actually leave the dockside crab, and you kind of walk maybe half a block. You lean against a light post or sort of a illuminate, like where they have something. You're just sort of smoking. It doesn't take too long where the words you just said cause him to peer out of the door. He kind of looks left, doesn't see you. Do you want him to see you?
I would like put out the pipe where it would glow and smoke up if he wants to come find me.
Okay. He leans right, sees sort of the silhouette, as well as your body, and the light, and he goes, "See you later." Closes the door and goes the opposite direction from you. He is walking in a very hurried manner.
I'll follow.
Oh shit! Goes down an alleyway. You follow an alleyway. He takes a left turn. You take a left turn. Are you trying to gain distance, or sorry, to reduce distance?
I just want to be kind of behind him, following where he can see, but not necessarily like I'm outpaced. Like I'm looking where you're going, buddy. I'm not necessarily catching up to you unless I want to. If I want to, I'm capable.
If that's the case, this happens for about maybe 5 minutes as he's walking. He's doing. Obviously, he's not walking to a place. He's actually trying to lose you. I think you recognize that. He turns a corner, and you hear boots to ground. He is running now. And as you turn the corner, you see that he is sprinting. He's not in good shape. He is a ferryman who oversees a few, like occasionally he'll do a ferry, but usually he's a desk job guy. And he is sort of like giving deep huffs as he's rushing.
I'm going to dimension door to his butt at this point and use a new spell. And show up in front of him, like, with my pipe.
You warp 5 feet from him. He pumps the brakes, loses balance, rolls on his knees, and Amelia's trying to get up and goes, "The fuck? I don't know you!"
And I'll hand him my hand to like help him up, and I'll say, "We have mutual friends, and I'm looking for your help and some information."
Smack your hand out of the way, but then kind of goes up to like a wall as you're kind of in this alleyway and goes, "What are you?"
I'm with the Raven's Kiss. You know us?
Face pure, like the tan goes away.
That's breathe.
What do you want?
Well, your cooperation first would be very good. Let's start there. I like the finer things in life, and it looks like you could use a few of those. But there are some things that I would like for, keeping my mouth shut, your convenience, my convenience, Richard's convenience. So I really just want right now some info, cheaper passage on your little boat that makes it easy. And, if I stop by and say hi and buy you a drink, you don't run away.
It's expensive. Are we looking for travel one person?
Yeah, most of the time, probably, but I might have some friends with me, and I'm not saying free. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm saying family discount.
You hear there's like a heavy swallow. And everything stays under wraps.
Nobody has to know anything.
All right. Nobody has to know anything. Yeah. I like that. No one needs to know.
No, and you here, they hand him like the pipe. Have a smoke. Calm down. This isn't that bad.
Sort of smells it. It's good. Yeah.
To new friends.
There's a scene we see in the alleyway of Mask full control of we're new friends, and this biggest, whitest smile, and this other guy, Danny Grace, who is like nervous, sweating bullets, going, "Yeah, new friends." As part of this was a thing that you had full control on because of the blackmail that you had on this guy. Yeah, I think just cornering him and kind of putting the pressure was enough. You can go ahead and write in that you do have a discount at the Cauldron Ferry. You just need to drop and locate Danny Grace. He will be there. He will not. He knows running will exacerbate the problem. So perfect. You are able to secure that. And then for the last bit of our first week of downtime, Phoenix, what free little action would you like to do right now?
Gotta go send a letter because I kind of blipped off the map to my parents. So I think she's gonna go run and do that. And what else did I put? Yeah, no, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, you have another
And
week to do
it's
more
probably
downtime.
gonna be a long letter.
Perfect. You start to write a long letter to your parents. Do you tell them where you are? Do you tell them you're telling them you're safe and you're okay, but anything else?
I don't tell them where I am. I think that would be stupid of her. I do tell them that I did meet Obadiah's family and, told them what I had to tell them, but I'll probably be gone for a while longer until I get back. And if anybody comes looking for me that they don't recognize, don't say anything.
Okay. That makes a parent feel very, very safe.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably going to get a strongly worded letter back.
Yep. Hold on. Don't
mainly from my father.
Tell anyone if they know me.
I don't think anybody's going to go to Anburn because Anburn is scary enough where people don't want to go there unless you're open to trade. But
my rule in terms of travel and for downtime actions is going to places that you have been. However, this will be a bit of a sort of an exception due to your initial downtime request and the fact that Hogdale is not too far off from Outslaw. It's actually one of the closer sort of cities. You travel to a town skipped, and you travel into Hogdale, a quaint little forest village that doesn't have a lot of buildings. Most of it is logging and hunting villages. There is a local adventurers guild called the Lower Tags that is located here. So if you're looking for, to gain some cash by killing some monsters, you can always go to the Lower Tags. However, a bit further into the forest, sitting into a clearing amongst the trees and greens, is a large walled-off monastery. Gray stone covered in moss and vine. Flowers bloom as you walk past two large metal gates. Within it is a training grounds where there are groups of crowds of monks currently mid-training. A lot of them kind of early teens, late 20s. There's a couple of old timers here kind of training as well. As you start to walk in, there's not a guard. Monastery, they don't need no guard. They kick
not
you out
normally.
Yeah. But there is an open sort of yard, a stone yard that you can see people they have staffs. Poof, you hear sort of a simultaneous hit amongst all the stone. You can actually see that the outer rim where sort of these walls are, it's actually part of a building, kind of like a C, like the actual letter C. That's how you're walking in, and sort of there are buildings around, and you see that there are windows, and there are kind of training, not physical, but study. There's a lot of study happening within these buildings, like classrooms, teachers studying something, and it isn't too long as you start to take in everything, kind of absorbing everything that's coming around you, that a young man, no older than probably 19 or something, this young Goliath, approaches you.
Yeah.
Hey,
What kind of suit?
Greeting, miss. Can I help you?
I don't even know what I'm looking for. God.
What brings you to the altar?
Steady your tone, man. Okay.
Huh?
From your diaphragm. A little bit.
My mom says I'm growing.
Indeed. Do you happen
Goliath, they age differently. I don't know.
I don't think she'd be underneath the name of Kia. So I just think she asks like if they've seen what the hell are they called? You know what? Fuck it. She
Aragon?
doesn't like Wakia that much. Have you seen a rabbit that has thunder abilities that hits like a motherfucker?
A forward guard?
Yeah. One of those.
He kind of goes through like a side satchel that he holds, and he busts out like trading cards. And he goes,
all have okay, never mind.
"Huh? Oh, it's great. I play
Nothing.
with some." Okay. No. I mean, I haven't seen a badass Haragon. But you know, I'm only one person. There's probably more people who probably our abbot has seen people. Where
Can
are
I
you?
talk to them?
Well, where are you staying?
Where am I staying? Like what is it called? I already
Bordeaux and
forgot.
Bordeaux.
Yeah, I told them that.
I could send a request to my abbot, and they would be happy to do an investigation, and send it to the place you're staying at. I just can't let you roam around.
Can you show me around?
Well, we have a waiting list for tours.
Okay. Can I bar or do I have to be part of the monastery to do that?
Here, why don't I put your name down? And what we'll do is that we'll call you. We'll send a missive when we're ready to have you.
Okay.
And
She hates this so much.
This young guy who's probably like his first job, you know, it's like he's trying to do his best, brings you back into the entrance where he takes your information and starts to write things down. And you are kind of left at the archway where you are looking out towards Hogdale and looking back at the monastery. And you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
And as you kind of stand, yeah, perfect. I put you in a place where you should be confused. You stand there kind of questioning. You see that there is, I think you don't see it initially. I think you hear first. How long? And you hear sort of this deeper voice kind of talk from behind you. Leaning against the outer wall, you see that there is a white furred, bit of splash of brown fur, hair of a satyr. In terms of persuasion, you see that they are kind of like goat, very goat-like. You see sort of the curled ram horn. There is like very small spectacles that sit on the bridge of the nose. Golden eyes with sort of that weird kind of slit eye that goats have. He has sort of light blue vestiges on, and he currently has like a cigarette, like a stogie essentially. He's kind of smoking a little bit. He kind of puts it out onto the wall and like shoves it into the dirt, tries to hide it. How long?
I think she just turns around.
Training. How long you been doing training?
Oh. Like 15 years. No, wait. I can't math. No, kind of like rough near there.
I mean, I only ask because your left fist, you're kind of balled up a little bit. Do you normally keep yourself balled up, ready for a fight?
Depends who's asking, but I guess, sure, if you read it on me that well.
Kind of figured as much. What brings you to the monastery?
Looking for somebody. Got word that she was around here.
Well, getting inside the Order of Second Life is a bit of a difficult one. It's kind of hard to do so without some kind of sponsor.
Okay, so there's more than just the waiting list, and she slowly looks up at the Goliath.
He looks over to where you're searching, and the Goliath's like a few steps away, like minding his own business, not really paying attention. He goes, "We provide some visual. There is public access where people can go on tours, just to view what we have here. But generally, become a member itself. It takes a bit of extra chances here."
What do I need for a sponsor? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not literally trying to be rude. I have no clue. I've never done this. The person that trained me is, I guess, ex-forward guard, and trained me in the jungle. So, didn't really have all this.
No kidding. Who trained you?
Obadiah Beck.
Never knew him. I mean, I read stories to my youngins about the forward guard. It's kind of hard not to have that shoved in your face. They're fun, entertaining stories too. But no, he kind of walks up a little bit to you, and he kind of has like a foot and a half above you, a bit of a tall satyr. Sort of hear the clops of his hooves on the stone. He goes, "If you don't mind, let me see your left hand."
She holds out her left hand.
Unconsciously, your hand is just sort of balled up. All right. Splay out. There you go. Just calm down. Boy, you're tense. You got to relax a little bit. See, Order of the Second Life, it's the exploration of one's self safely. Sort of focus on, there's a focus as well. It takes gut, takes willpower. But man, it looks like you got that in spades. Huh. So they're...
I mean, you could try me out if you want. Not like that. That sounded weird. I meant sparring. Like...
Well, tell you what.
I'm not great at communication. Sorry.
My wife and I, we both teach here at the Order. At Oz.
Phoenix.
Pleasure to meet you, Phoenix. My wife and here, we both teach here at the Second Life. Tell you what, stick around. Come back tomorrow morning. Let's do a bit of sparring. Let's try you out. Prove to me that you can handle a new form of training. I'm not going to doubt that your old trainer probably did a good job. Seems like you carry yourself pretty comfortably. You're just a little tense. Now let's loosen you up a little bit.
I think I'm always just a little tense, but I mean, sure. Like,
right.
What, 5 a.m.? How early do you guys get up?
Sure, we can have a late morning, do 5 a.m.
That's late? Cool. I guess 4? I thought 4 was early.
Tell you what, you come when you're comfortable and I'll judge.
I get judged. What's early?
Come when you're comfortable.
No, now I want to know what's early.
I'm going to have some fun here. You're going to decide. And we'll tell you what, if you can prove to me that we can get you trained up and focused and kind of explore oneself, your own self safely, I'll introduce you to my wife. I think she would do well to train you.
Any particular reason why? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just curious.
Are you fine if I be a bit rude?
I'm kind of used to it, so feel free. Take your best shot.
She used to be a very tense person too.
That's not that bad.
Neither am I. I'm not a bad person. Not here to offend. Now, tell you what. I'll do this for you, but you gotta do one thing for me.
If it's fixing that guy's voice, that's gonna be a whole
No.
job.
You just gotta keep quiet about me smoking in front when you do meet my wife. I don't want her to know. I told her I quit.
Is she good at reading people?
You gotta say yes or no, dear.
I didn't see anything, but if she asked me outright, I'm not good at lying, so I'm just gonna tell you.
Oh, we're gonna definitely have to train you. He looks like the moment you, I'm telling you right now, I've got 12 kids. The moment you start to have children, you learn how to lie.
How many did you say you had?
I'll see you in the morning, Phoenix.
Wait, are they all like you? Because that's adorable.
He
Not
starts
like
walking
that
off.
You're adorable.
You are now going to train with Oz, full name Ozzy, here at the Order of the Second Life. And I will say that this is a dexterity-based skill. So this is less of you... This is less of you getting trained up in a skill. This is you more or less making a new connection with a faction.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, what is your dexterity modifier?
It's only a +3.
Okay, so you're going to roll 3d6. And, I mean, we all play Blades here, me, you, and Nick, so we kind of understand how this goes. Go and roll me a d6, the 3d6s.
I know, I'm trying to pick which I think is going to be nice and not an ass. Okay, well, that's a 6 on the green one.
6.
5. I got 2 5s and a 6.
Well, we have 5 slots filled, nearly done. I think the way that we're going to finish today's session is we're going to start off week 2, and the way that we're going to finish this off is Legati. I would assume that you go back to the Church of Wakia. Oh, not Wakia. Joaquin. That's where I see the
Yeah.
Stop worshipping that rabbit. Joaquin.
Easter's over.
No need for rolls. Even the lowest roll would have gotten you a filled clock. So first and foremost, you are now proficient in the religion skill.
All right.
So resetting your clock, you filled it up. So you are now proficient in the religion skill. You are searching into the usurp aspect of divinity. You start to go to, you find yourself in a church that almost looks like a bank. It has pillars, a dome roof. There are actual shops found in this church where people make purchases and trades. And actually, this is where you can find probably like heavy leather, because there is a leathersmith in this church currently selling their wares. So I'm going to mark in that we can decide how much you purchase in a bit. But for what you learn for completing your proficiency is Joaquin, the coin maiden, the goddess of merchants and commerce, and for a lowly fee of 50 gold pieces, you'll be able to peruse their archives, which normally any other church and faith would be off limits. But 50 gold pieces is a solid price for those who are not adventuring out into dangerous forests. So you get full access with 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, I suppose I'm here. I might as well, right?
You spend the gold. I mean, it's a goddess of commerce. There has to be a sale happening. You are assigned an archivist to walk with you, sort of help you out on the ground. You see that there is this sort of lithe lizard folk, a very chameleon-like being who, even sort of touching sort of like raw red books, the arms are kind of starting to shade into sort of a more crimson-like hue. You see sort of the large bulbous eyes that are obfuscated by also large glasses, almost like Coke bottle glass, making their eyes look absolutely enormous And you can see sort of the eyes sort of shifting, but as you sort of come into view, you capture their attention. This is Horvel. You see he goes, "Hi, so we'd like to peruse Joaquin's archives and the information found here. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?"
Everything you have about the usurpation of gods, as it has happened in the past, and theories about how it may happen again in the future.
Huh. I don't think we have that exact subject, but I will set you up with a study space here. And I will bring you some books that I think might be close.
That'll do.
Few hours go by, and I think this is days of experience as sort of books are being brought to you. You start to understand that it makes sense that churches would not hold books about usurping a god. They wouldn't want that possibility to happen to their god. You know, there's an established understanding of where we're at, and they're like, we don't want to upset the balance here. But you start to understand that there's no better god that oversees change like Joaquin. There are no books about usurping. However, you do find something close enough where it does start to build a base of a theory. Joaquin has overseen numerous coin that represents old kingdoms, old rules, and how this god of commerce generally reacts to the change of status quo, because kingdoms come and go, and currency changes to whomever is leading at the time. And also currency changes depending on the purity of that coin. Some of them lose value, some of them gain value. All of this happens. And Joaquin, you're like, this is perfect, because Joaquin has to oversee all of this change, and this god is reacting to the status quo being changed constantly. You get a base of this kind of discovery of how the pantheon would react to change. Joaquin hates it when coins change, when kingdoms rise and fall. There's a sort of general distaste of great, I have to now do this all over again. And then a new trade post is sort of built out. Some kingdoms dedicate themselves to their currency, dedicate their currency to gods, some to the ocean, some to war. And when change occurs, nobody's happy except for the ones who get adopted into the focus. If you find there are studies and notes and estimations that if a town that was worshiping a god of storms gets overthrown by a civilization that worships the god of nature, like growth, then obviously the storm god is pissed and the nature god is super happy. They're like, oh, cool. Yeah, I got more power, more worshippers and more representation of me. It's very egotistical. Their face is kind of like the thing. In addition, the idea of coin not changing, but the focus of the base itself, I think, yeah, it's like the idea that for this kind of concept, Joaquin is in a good space, because even if a kingdom falls and comes back, Joaquin will always be there. It's kind of hard. There always has to be some sort of commerce. And the only thing that has to change, that she has to adapt, is the new focus. This king now worships the nature god. Okay, commerce that focuses on nature. Cool, shifting that. And it's kind of like a pull process. You start to understand that you start to estimate, let's say a god of death is there. And this god of death focuses, like the Raven Queen, focuses on the transition between life and death. That's the domain they live in, is death, and they focus on that aspect. You believe that there might be a way to slip under and usurp if someone could represent a similar aspect of death in this example. and become a little bit more popular. So the idea is, imagine that, once again, sort of the Raven Queen, she is the transition between life and death. What if someone becomes a god, or at least represents an aspect of death that is less about the transition and more about the rights over the dead? Well, they both exist in the death domain, and if one becomes more popular than the other, that unpopular one gets bumped off. So you start to build an idea, sort of an estimation that, okay, if I can find someone, they don't even have to be a brand new god. They don't have to be. I could literally find someone who loves the sun, like Palor, like the sun god. And if I could find someone who also represents the sun as well, but a different aspect of it, if I pump them up, they're going to bump Palor off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you usurp someone. That's how you get them off. It's not that coin has changed. It is the focus that the kingdom holds of it. It takes a full 7 days. Actually, technically, this takes full 2 weeks. 14 days as you walk out of Joaquin's bank-like bank-like church, and you have a new thought process.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you usurp someone.
It seems easy enough. All makes sense, yeah. Has a lot of diagrams of like major god names and then hypothetically crossed out and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like you find a god of the seas and you're like, but if I can make someone the god of the waves, that can knock them off. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and you could kind of do it that way. So that is the aspect of being usurped.
Mm-hmm.
As you come out knowing this, as we end today's session, is there a particular domain that immediately crosses your mind like, oh, that might be my target?
I mean, what I've been operating on the idea, if it were to be me, it would be either a god of change or of like knowledge or something. And what was the usurped god, the god of the one that got kicked out?
It's like a sander?
Yeah. So that was creation or something, right? Because I don't want to do the same one again accidentally. I don't know if there's an established god of change, and I feel like Legati kind of likes to keep the Salal thing non-religious because he thinks it's more of a philosophical principle. So I think the immediate thing I'm thinking of is like knowledge, especially because I've just spent 2 weeks studying and I'm really good at it. It's like, okay, so like knowledge, acquiring new knowledge, studying, academics. I my mom worked in a school. I think that's been on his mind. So god of knowledge kind of thing is where he's at.
We start to pull back from this 2-week venture as Legati's holding notebooks upon notebooks, papers and sheets, all in bags and everything, all clutched close. As you start to look at the Faith District and do see there is a Church of Knowledge. And we see a final scene of you just staring down, and there's just numerous thoughts of, okay, god of academics, maybe? Maybe a god of studying? Maybe change can be a thing, like a god of acquiring knowledge, the acquisition. And there is like thoughts starting to broom as we start to end today's session. And we will begin with Downtime Week 2 with the rest of our crew. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.